Welcome to my channel, ketomealsandrecipes.com. Today I'm going to show you my adapted version of a very popular burger that we enjoyed in Hiroshima, Japan. A copycat of a hamburger only available in Japan, the McDonald's Samurai Big Mac hamburger. As I'm talking about the reason for this recipe, here are some of the photos that we took in Hiroshima. I hope you like them. And by the way, let me know if you've been there and what your thoughts of the place were. Before posting this video, I have made and tested this recipe with my family in order to determine how close the taste of this burger is to the original samurai burger we had at the Hiroshima train station while waiting for our bullet train back to Kyoto. After a few attempts, I was really happy when they said it tasted very close to the burger they enjoyed in Hiroshima. But they did explain there was one big difference with my version of the samurai burger. Basically, it was a lot less sweet. The so-called special teriyaki sauce McDonald's uses in Japan was really sweet. The consensus was that they loved and enjoyed the original burger in Hiroshima, but they have found the sweetness was way too much. My taste testers actually preferred the less sweet teriyaki sauce I used on my burger. Because there's so many variables that can contribute to the assembled burger, resulting in a wide range of macronutrient variables, I will first provide the macronutrients for the beef burger itself, and later on in the video, after I've completed my burger, I will also post the full macros for the finished burger that I made. Now let's start with the macros that only take into consideration the samurai hamburger patty. The macronutrient ratio is 2.7 to 1, with 2 grams of total carbs, 0.4 grams of dietary fiber, resulting in 1.6 grams of net carbs per beef patty. In order to try to make as authentic tasting version of the Japanese samurai burger like the one we had in Hiroshima, you will need to make a couple things ahead of time. For example, you will need a bun of some sort. In this video, I have used my pecan flatbread bun because I really like the taste, or for a more standard hamburger bun, you could also use my keto hamburger buns with sesame seeds, which are more like the buns that were actually used in Japan. One last thing, I have also pre-made a big batch of my keto teriyaki sauce and glaze. In this version, I'm using the one without the sesame seeds. The next ingredient I'm making is the lemon mayonnaise, which is a tasty substitute for the Japanese mayonnaise used on the samurai burgers. All you have to do is get a small bowl to which you add your favorite mayonnaise, either store-bought or homemade, add the lemon juice, and pour in the heavy whipping cream, and then also add the powdered sweetener. Stir very well to incorporate all the ingredients and put the lemon mayo mixture into the refrigerator until you need it. Prepping this ingredient first is important because it'll allow the flavors to develop while you make the burger patties and fry them. Now let's make the burger patties. Here are the ingredients I'll be using. To a large mixing bowl, I add the lean ground beef. You could also use 50% beef and 50% pork. Whisk the eggs and pour over the ground beef. Sprinkle the garlic powder on top and the nutmeg powder. The next ingredient I'm going to use is pepper. Here you can choose to use either white pepper or black pepper. I actually prefer the white pepper. And lastly, add your finely ground salt. Now mix to incorporate all the ingredients. I find I prefer to use my hands. I can best control how the seasoning and the eggs are integrated with the ground beef. Okay, everything's all mixed up and ready to go, so now it's time to make the patties. Here you have an option as to what size you want your hamburgers to be. You can either shape the meat into 6 large patties of about 200 grams or 7 ounces each, or you can make 8 medium-sized 150 gram or 5.3 ounce sized patties, which is the size I am making. Just for your information, a McDonald's quarter pounder is 114 grams. So even this smaller sized burger of 150 grams is heartier than the McDonald's one. I'd also like to remind you that the burger patties will shrink when they're grilled. So do make the patties larger and a bit more thinned out, about 20 to 30% bigger than your buns. And also try to indent the center a little bit because the meat will come together as it grills. To grill the patties, place your skillet over medium heat. Pour in a little bit of oil just to grease the bottom to prevent the burger from sticking. That's because I'm using lean ground beef and there won't be a lot of fat released, which is what you want. My pan is kind of small, so I'm going to make one burger at a time, which I've placed over medium heat. I find it also easier to control. Now cook for 4 to 6 minutes per side or until the internal temperature of the burger is 165 degrees Fahrenheit or 74 degrees Celsius. When your burger is done, transfer it to a platter and repeat until you have grilled all of the burgers you're going to be using that day. So far you've made a very tasty burger, but to make it into a samurai burger, when all of your burgers are done, dip each burger in your prepared sugar-free teriyaki glaze. Place the burgers aside on a platter until needed for assembly. There are many ways you can dress up your burger. Here are a few other ingredients that we like to add to our burgers. For example, such as sautéed red onion. To do this, all you have to do is cut your red onion in half and cut it into thin ribbons. Place a frying pan over medium heat, drizzle a bit of oil, and when sizzling, drop in the onions. Sauté, tossing the onions occasionally, and keep cooking until the onions are translucent. You do not want the onions to be browned or burned. Then scoop up the onions and transfer the onions to a bowl and set aside. Also, remove several leaves of iceberg lettuce and set them aside. And I have also prepared my grated cheddar. Now that everything is ready, it's time to do the final assembly. Start by cutting the buns in half, and if you like, you can grill the cut side down for a couple minutes. This crisps up the interior and it tastes really good, but you don't have to. Next, place the bottom half of the bun on your plate. Spread about 1 tablespoon of your lemon mayonnaise over the grilled surface of your bun. Fold your lettuce and lay it on top of the bun. For maximum flavor, generously recoat the burger in the teriyaki sauce and then place it on top of the lettuce. Place a second leaf of folded lettuce on top of the burger. To this, I add a slice of tomato. The next topping I add is my sautéed red onions. Doesn't this look amazing already? And at this point, I'm also going to add my grated sharp cheddar. Now, spread 1 more tablespoon of lemon mayonnaise over the inside surface of the top half of your bun. Place that on top, and you're all done. I have to admit that my copycat version of the Samurai Big Mac burger has more toppings and a more generous dollop of toppings. However, I want you to remember that this is your burger and you can add any of the optional toppings you like or have it with as few toppings as you choose. Customize to make it perfect for you. I hope these various toppings and suggestions are something that might be of interest to you. And if you like this recipe, please leave me a comment, and if you want to help my channel, please share the video link with a friend. Thank you very much for taking the time to watch my video. I really appreciate both your time and support. Please come back when I post my next video. Until next time, have a happy and healthy day. Cheers!